Hello students, welcome to Shriram's IAS. Welcome to this very important class. We are going to discuss today about IMF and its extension of a bailout package to Pakistan. 2.1 बिलियन डॉलर का बेल आउट पैकेज दिया है आईएमएफ ने पाकिस्तान को, जिसमें से $1 बिलियन पे भी कर दिया है, बट साथ में 11 कंडीशंस भी दे दी हैं. वी आर गोइंग टू डिस्कस अबाउट दैट एंड along with it in this video we are also going to discuss about the state of economy of Pakistan. कितनी वीक पाकिस्तान की इकोनॉमी हो गई है. We are also going to do a comparison between the economy of Pakistan and economy of India. आप देखेंगे कि किस तरह पाकिस्तान की इकोनॉमी भारत की इकोनॉमी के सामने उसका कोई कंपैरिजन ही नहीं है. भारत की इकोनॉमी बहुत ज्यादा स्ट्रांग है. Then we are going to say कि IMF ही ऐसा क्यों लोन देता है. Why not वर्ल्ड बैंक? ये जब भी क्राइसिस होता है, बैलेंस ऑफ पेमेंट क्राइसिस आती है, कोई कंट्री के ऊपर किसी भी किस्म का क्राइसिस आता है, व्हाई इट इज ऑलवेज IMF which is giving the loan. And then at last we are going to see that India has also taken help from IMF and on several occasions. We are going to see what were those occasions. It was in 1965, 66, then in 1981, then in 1991. So let's begin. I am Mayank Bharadwaj presenting this class. So what are these 11 conditions? These are the 11 conditions which have been imposed by IMF on Pakistan. So total number of conditions on Pakistan has become 50 now. 50 कंडीशन हो गई हैं ये 11 मिलाकर, और ये हर तरह की कंडीशंस है, पार्लियामेंट्री अप्रूवल से लेके लिबरलाइजेशन तक. लिबरलाइजेशन ऑफ कार इंपोर्ट्स, पाकिस्तान में कार इंपोर्ट्स भी अलाउड नहीं थे, जिसको अब IMF अलाउ करवा रहा है. ओके, सो बिफोर गोइंग टू these 11 conditions, we are going to see something else. Let us see why Pakistan is facing such a crisis. अगर आप ध्यान से देखें तो there are several indicators which tells about the health of an economy. How you are going to judge the health of an economy? आप देखेंगे कि उसकी growth rate कितनी है. At the same time you are going to see what amount of public debt is there on a country. Then what is the foreign exchange reserve of the country? Along with it, inflation का rate क्या है? Along with it, unemployment का rate क्या है? इन्फ्लेशन का रेट, अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट का रेट, ये सब कम होना चाहिए. फॉरेन एक्सचेंज रिजर्व आपके साथ बहुत सारा होना चाहिए. अगर डेट आपकी इकोनॉमी में है तो डेट का अमाउंट उतना ज्यादा नहीं होना चाहिए. साथ में इंटरनल डेट अगर ज्यादा है एक्सटर्नल डेट से, सो इट्स ऑलवेज गुड. सो ऑन ऑल दीज फैक्टर्स, ऑन ऑल दीज इंडिकेटर्स, द पाकिस्तानी इकोनॉमी इज dwindling badly. Now the question is, with all kind of things which we have seen and the state of the economy of Pakistan, still it wants to wage a war against India using terrorism. Now they need serious wisdom. Yes. So growth rate, if you talk about the growth rate of Pakistan, it has become stagnant and it has grown to somewhere around 2.5% now. We are going to see it in the next slide. Inflation rate was around 38%. This was because of the flood which Pakistan has faced in 2022 and 2023. Around 1,739 people have died in these floods. High inflation of 38%, which is now reduced to single digit, but several measures were taken by the government, and still the commodity prices are not stable in Pakistan. Okay, they have used tightening of the monetary policy to achieve this. Dwindling reserves. These reserves are the foreign exchange reserves. India has a foreign exchange reserve of $690 billion compared to Pakistan, which has a foreign exchange reserve of around $15 billion. This is less than the foreign exchange reserve of Nepal and Bangladesh. It was $3 billion before. It has increased to $15 billion because IMF has paid some money to Pakistan. Along with it, several other multilateral and the allies of Pakistan, the other countries have given some loan to it. And then, because of that, 3 billion became 15 billion, but that is not anything. It can import only an item for about 1 month or maximum 2 months. So that is the state of economy in Pakistan. Unsustainable debts. The debt is very high, 70% of the GDP. That is the debt on Pakistani economy. So if you see the GDP growth of Pakistan, that is 2.5%. It has become stagnant. Now it is 2.5%. Record high inflation, we have already seen 38%. Because of the tightening of the monetary policy, it has come down. But that does not mean that the prices have stabilized. Commodity prices have not stabilized. Purchasing power of the people have eroded considerably. Critical foreign reserve shortage, $15 billion, we have already seen. High external debts, $86 billion external debt. Okay, and $19 billion is upcoming repayment. What is this repayment? When you take loans, you have to repay. You have to repay the interest, you have to repay the principal also, and it can be given in installments also. So the next installment on Pakistan is $19 billion and it only has $15 billion left. So that is the state of economy of Pakistan, and it wants to wage war against India. How is it possible? I don't understand it. Fiscal deficit of 6.8% of GDP. Fiscal deficit is the difference between the expenditure of the government and the kind of revenue it is getting. That is 6.8%. अगर आपकी सरकार 100 रुपए कमाती है और 110 रुपए खर्च कर देती है, तो फिस्कल डेफिसिट हो जाता है 10 रुपए का. और ये 10 रुपए कहां से आते हैं? ये आप बोरो करते हो. बोरो कहां से कर सकते हैं? एक्सटर्नल फैक्टर्स से, इंटरनल मैकेनिज्म से. इंटरनल मैकेनिज्म्स क्या होते हैं? इंटरनल मैकेनिज्म सच एज बॉन्ड्स, सच एज ट्रेजरी बिल्स, बोरोइंग फ्रॉम बैंक्स. हमारे ही खुद के जो इंस्टीट्यूशंस हैं कंट्री के अंदर, दे आर सो स्ट्रॉन्गर दैट वी आर गोइंग टू borrow money from internal sources. But Pakistan does not do it. Pakistan borrows from external sources. External sources like IMF, like World Bank, like different countries such as China, sometimes USA. Okay. Why this is so? Because the people in Pakistan does not want to buy the bonds, does not want to buy the treasury bills. Why? Because they do not trust the government. They do not trust the economy. It is going to falter any day. And besides, Pakistani people does not have that kind of money which can fund their government. तो हर बार क्या होता है कि इस तरह के जब 11-12 कंडीशंस लगा दिए जाते हैं IMF के द्वारा, तो कमर किसकी टूटती है? कमर टूटती है दोस्तों मिडिल क्लास के लोगों की. पाकिस्तान में भी वही हो रहा है. आप देखिए इसको, एग्रीकल्चर इनकम पे टैक्स लगा दिया है. Agriculture income, which was not taxable till now, is now taxed in Pakistan after those 11 conditions which have been imposed by IMF. ये सीधा सीधा फर्क किस पर पड़ेगा? मिडिल क्लास पर. गवर्नेंस एक्शन प्लान देना है. साथ में देखिए इलेक्ट्रिसिटी टैरिफ को रैशनल करने की बात की है, रैशनलाइजेशन ऑफ गैस टैरिफ की बात की है. IMF को लगता है कि जितना पैसे अभी वहां के लोग इलेक्ट्रिसिटी और गैस पे कर रहे हैं, ये इनफ नहीं है, तो इनका रेट का रैशनलाइजेशन होना चाहिए. ये फिर से लोगों पर आ गया. एग्जेम्पशन जोन्स हैं. एग्जेम्पशन जोन्स जहां पर टैक्स नहीं लगते थे. इंडिया में भी स्पेशल इकोनॉमिक जोन्स होते हैं जहां पर टैक्सेशन बहुत कम होता है. इंडस्ट्रीज वहां पर अपना प्लांट सेटअप करके दे कैन मैन्युफैक्चर, दे कैन डू सो मेनी थिंग्स. सो देयर आर सेवरल जोन्स आल्सो देयर इन पाकिस्तान. दे वर केप्ट आउट ऑफ द टैक्सेस. Now they have also been imposed, and the taxation has also been imposed on them. So why IMF has put these kind of conditions on Pakistan? Because IMF wants that the Pakistani expenditure, the kind of expenditure which Pakistan is doing, should become rational, and at the same time the revenue base should increase. Now how will the revenue base will increase? Only when government is going to get money. And from where government can get money? Either from the bailout packages by IMF, or some packages from World Bank, or bailout packages by China or America. That is one of the sources from where the Pakistani government gets the money. And the other sources is through taxes. Taxes on people, आम जनता को कभी भी टैक्सेस अच्छे नहीं लगते हैं, और ऐसे टैक्सेस जो उनकी कमर तोड़ दे वो तो बिल्कुल ही अच्छे नहीं लगते. सो दीज काइंड ऑफ कंडीशंस आर इम्पोज्ड बाय IMF ऑन पाकिस्तान. एंड पाकिस्तान हैज टू लर्न. अगर पाकिस्तान अपना सारा फोकस आर्मी की तरफ और टेररिज्म की तरफ रखेगा, टेररिज्म की ग्रोथ की तरफ रखेगा, कश्मीर में टेररिज्म फैलाने की तरफ रखेगा, भारत के अगेंस्ट प्रॉक्सी वॉर करने के तरफ रखेगा, तो हाउ विल इट्स इकोनॉमी ग्रो? इट्स पीपल इज गोइंग टू सफर एंड द इकोनॉमी इज गोइंग टू dwindle एंड फेल वन डे. Pakistan has to learn from its own mistake, and it is the history that Pakistan does not learn from its own mistake. So, एक डेट ट्रैप के साथ एक इमोशनल ट्रैप में भी है पाकिस्तान, बोला जा सकता है. सो विदाउट IMF's aid, Pakistan will falter. This is very important. Now, why IMF? Why not World Bank? देखिए, there is a difference between the bailout packages which are given by the IMF and the kind of money which is given by the IMF to countries versus the kind of money and the reason for which that money is given by the World Bank to other countries. World Bank क्या करता है? लॉन्ग टर्म प्लान्स पर ध्यान देता है. वर्ल्ड बैंक पॉवर्टी प्रोग्राम्स पर ध्यान देता है, पॉवर्टी को हटाने के लिए, लॉन्ग टर्म डेवलपमेंट करने के लिए. सो अगर आपको कोई प्रोजेक्ट अपने देश में चलाना है फॉर इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, फॉर स्कूलिंग, फॉर हॉस्पिटल्स एंड फॉर अदर काइंड ऑफ सेक्टर्स which is going to help the economy, in a long term, then a World Bank project can start in your country. But when the country is in crisis, there can be balance of payment crisis and other kind of crisis, and the country severely needs money or else its economy will falter, then the IMF comes up. So it is the job of the IMF to make this world economy more stable, regional economy is more stable. Okay, that is the reason why IMF always gives the bailout packages to countries when the countries are in BOP crisis, balance of payment crisis, and other kind of crisis. Moving forward, GDP growth rate. अगर देखिए, there is a comparison between India and Pakistan and the kind of economy India is holding and the kind of economy Pakistan has. So if you see, the growth rate of India is 6.5%. Compared to Pakistan, it is only 2.5%. So for a country like India, अब India service hub है, manufacturing hub भी बन रहा है, 6.5% growth rate is quite good. We want more. We want 5 trillion economy. We want 10 trillion economy. We want our country to grow with a double-digit growth rate. But 6.5% is not less. अगर आप major economies में देखेंगे, तो India one of the fastest growing economy है world. Major economies के अंदर India comes under the major economies. Now inflation rate, if you see in India, inflation rate is 4.8%. This is a very healthy inflation rate for a growing economy. But look at Pakistan, the inflation rate was 38%. There are supply constraint, supply का failure पूरा, we can say, and that is the reason the inflation rate has reached 38%. This is too much. Although it has come down to single digit now, but ये single digit आया कैसे? Tightening monetary policy. उनका जो बैंक है, the national bank, जैसे इंडिया में we have a reserve bank of India, their bank have introduced the tightened monetary policy. That simply means government is not going to spend too much, and for that reason the circulation of money in the economy will decrease, and because of decrease of the circulation of money in the economy, the inflation will come down. पर इसका एक नेगेटिव इंप्लीकेशन भी होता है, ग्रोथ पर बहुत ज्यादा इफेक्ट पड़ता है. गवर्नमेंट के जो प्रोजेक्ट्स होते हैं वो स्टॉप हो जाते हैं बिकॉज ऑफ द टाइटनिंग मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी. रेपो रेट इंक्रीजेस, लोन महंगे हो जाएंगे. लोन महंगे होने की वजह से गवर्नमेंट भी बोरो नहीं करती है ज्यादा और रीपेमेंट करना पड़ेगा. और पाकिस्तान में तो रीपेमेंट का बहुत बड़ा इशू है. यहां पर जो फिस्कल डेफिसिट की बात हुई है पाकिस्तान के अंदर, फिस्कल डेफिसिट जो अपन ने देखा अभी, द डिफरेंस बिटवीन द एक्सपेंडिचर एंड द रेवेन्यू, जो पाकिस्तान का फिस्कल डेफिसिट है वो 6.8% है. तो मोस्ट ऑफ द एक्सपेंडिचर जो पाकिस्तान करता है, द मोस्ट ऑफ द एक्सपेंडिचर गोज इन रीपेमेंट ऑफ द लोन्स, मोस्ट ऑफ इट, whereas India's fiscal deficit is 5.9%. पर हमारा जो एक्सपेंडिचर हो रहा है वो गवर्नमेंट प्रोग्राम्स पे हो रहा है, वेलफेयर प्रोग्राम्स पे हो रहा है, डेवलपमेंट पे हो रहा है, कैपिटल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर को डेवलप करने पर हो रहा है, वो रीपेमेंट ऑफ लोन्स पे नहीं हो रहा है। और इंडिया का बहुत अच्छा रिकॉर्ड रहा है व्हेन इट कम्स टू रीपेमेंट ऑफ लोन्स। 1991 के बाद आईएमएफ से एक भी बार इंडिया ने किसी भी किस्म का पैसा नहीं लिया है। ऑल्दो इंडिया हैज बिकम अ lender from borrower, it happened only back in 1991 when India has faced the major balance of payment crisis, but after that through IMF India has become a lender. It's a great achievement. So India ka fiscal deficit again it is 5.9%, but it is quite healthy compared to Pakistan's 6.8%. अब आपको डिफरेंस बहुत ज्यादा नहीं दिख रहा होगा, बट नेचर ऑफ फिस्कल डेफिसिट देखिए, मेजॉरिटी ऑफ द मनी इज गोइंग इन रीपेमेंट ऑफ लोन्स पाकिस्तान के अंदर। करंट अकाउंट डेफिसिट ये क्या होता है? सीएडी, इंपोर्ट और एक्सपोर्ट के बीच का डिफरेंस। आपके अगर इंपोर्ट ज्यादा है और एक्सपोर्ट्स कम है तो आपका करंट अकाउंट डेफिसिट जो भी निकलता है, फॉर एग्जांपल 1.5% इंडिया का करंट अकाउंट डेफिसिट है, okay, and this is a very healthy rate again, whereas Pakistan's is 0. Now you would say it is always good that Pakistan is exporting and importing, and you know it's always good when a country exports more than imports, but it is also better if the current account deficit is 0, because the Pakistan is not importing as much as it is exporting. भाई आपका 1.5% है और पाकिस्तान का 0 है, सो पाकिस्तान इज इन बेटर कंडीशन, बट नो, पाकिस्तान इज नॉट इन बेटर कंडीशन। व्हाई? बिकॉज ये 0% जो अचीव हुआ है, इट इज थ्रू द इंपोर्ट सप्रेशन, दैट सिंपली मीन्स ऑल द एसेंशियल कमोडिटीज which are necessary for Pakistani economy to grow, which are necessary for the Pakistani society to grow, all those they have stopped. क्या रीजन है? फॉरेन एक्सचेंज रिजर्व बहुत कम है। दूसरा, इकोनॉमी को सुधारना है तो करंट अकाउंट डेफिसिट्स नीचे लाने पड़ेंगे। आईएमएफ की कुछ कंडीशंस हैं, उसकी वजह से भी करंट अकाउंट डेफिसिट्स नीचे लाने पड़ेंगे, और करंट अकाउंट डेफिसिट्स को नीचे लाने के लिए इंपोर्ट को सप्रेस करना पड़ेगा। तो वैसे इंपोर्ट्स भी सप्रेस कर दिए गए जो एसेंशियल कमोडिटीज के थे, एंड दैट इज द रीजन व्हाई दिस current account deficit has came down to 0% in Pakistan, whereas India's current account deficit is 1.5%, which is a very healthy number for a growing economy. It simply means that we have a healthy export regime. We also import several commodities from throughout the world, from many countries, and we have a diversified import as well as a diversified export. We are not curving our imports to decrease our current account deficit. That is not the case with India. Okay, I hope you are getting the difference. Then foreign exchange reserves. India's foreign exchange reserve is somewhere around $600 billion plus. It is $690 billion, and it is going to reach $700 billion soon. You know, this kind of money is enough to buy all the imports for about 1 year. Okay, and foreign exchange reserve, I hope you know, इसमें सब करेंसीज रहती हैं, विदेशी करेंसी रहती हैं, डॉलर भी रहता है, येन भी रहता है, गोल्ड रिजर्व्स भी रहते हैं. That is what is foreign exchange reserve. Mostly payments are made in dollars. Okay, so dollar forms a very major part of foreign exchange reserve और इंडिया के पास ये around $700 billion है. Compared to Pakistan, it has only $15 billion. 2 साल पहले तक this was $3 billion. It has increased to $15 billion because Pakistan has got a bailout package. Pakistan has got some money from multilateral forums, from forums like IMF and World Bank, and from its helper countries such as China. Okay, and that is the reason it has increased to $15 billion. और पीछे की स्लाइड में अपन ने देखा था दोस्तों, भूलिए मत, it has to make the next installment, it has to make a repayment of $19 billion. जितने भी पाकिस्तान ने लोन्स लिए हैं उन पे कुछ ना कुछ रीपेमेंट तो करना पड़ेगा, लोन्स फ्री में नहीं मिलते हैं। और नेक्स्ट इंस्टॉलमेंट इज ऑफ $19 बिलियन, बट पाकिस्तान की जेब में अभी सिर्फ $15 बिलियन है। And that is the reason why IMF aid is crucial to avoid default and ensure reforms in Pakistan. नहीं तो पाकिस्तान की इकोनॉमी डिफॉल्ट कर जाएगी, आज नहीं तो कल करेगी। I am not being negative towards the Pakistani establishment, but that is the path they are heading towards. मासूम लोगों को मार देना, क्रॉस बॉर्डर टेररिज्म करना, कश्मीर को इतना बड़ा इशू बना देना, इंडस वाटर ट्रीटी को ठीक से नहीं चलने देना, एक नैरेटिव सेट कर देना कि भारत ही इंडस वाटर ट्रीटी के खिलाफ है और सही से ट्रीटी को चलने नहीं दे रहा है। whereas if you see the present condition, the climate change condition, the increase in the population, 80% of the water of the western rivers, the Indus, Jhelum and Chenab has been given to Pakistan, whereas only 20% of the Indus river system comes to India through the 3 eastern rivers, Ravi, Byas and Satluj. अब ये treaty जो है ये unequal है, it has to change. India was talking on logic, but then this Pahalgam attack, we cannot tolerate all this from Pakistan, and if Pakistan keeps going in this direction, of course its economy is going to falter, its military is going to falter, its so-called steel frame administration is going to falter. They have to decide for themselves. Public debt, India का public debt अगर देखें अब 85% of GDP, whereas Pakistan's public debt is 70% of GDP. अब आप कहेंगे कि इंडिया का तो public debt बहुत ज़्यादा है, हाँ, but ये जो public debt है, this debt has been taken by India from the internal sources, not from the external sources. Majority of that comes from internal sources. Internal sources क्या होते हैं? Government can borrow from banks, government can raise bonds, treasury bills, people can buy it. Or when can people buy it? When can loans be given by the banks? It only happens when the bank has the money. It only happens when the people have the money. People deposit money to banks. Banks give loan to government. It's a chain. When people have money, people earn money. Then only it can buy bonds. Then only it can buy treasury bills. But when people have money, when that is going to happen, tell me, it only happens when there are circumstances in the country for growth. When the businesses are running high, when the manufacturing is running high, when the agriculture growth is rampant, okay, at the same time, urban growth is quite robust, rural growth is quite robust. I'm not saying Indian economy is perfect, but what I'm trying to say is it is far, far better than Pakistan, way better than many of the countries in Asia. It is one of the leading economy in the world, and it is moving towards 5 trillion economy. Then it is going to go to 10 trillion, and I hope it will keep growing like that. But there is so much work which needs to be done. And yes, coming back to the public debt, India's public debt majorly comes from internal sources such as treasury bills, such as bonds, such as borrowing of the government from banks. It can only happen when the banks have the money, when the people have the money, and people have the money when there is an environment of growth in the country. Compare it with Pakistan. Pakistan have 70% of the public debt. Majority of that public debt does not come from the domestic sources, but from the external sources. External sources such as IMF, external sources such as China. And people in Pakistan, they do not trust their own government because the economy can falter at any point in time, and that is the reason they do not buy treasury bills, they do not buy bonds. On the other hand, Pakistani people, because there is no environment or circumstances of growth given, they do not have the kind of money Indian people have. And since they do not have the kind of money Indian people have, they cannot buy treasury bills and bonds and make deposits in the banks. That's not possible. And for that reason, government is poor. Government does not have resources. Government cannot borrow from internal sources. That is the reason Pakistani government borrows from external sources. Now, India has also taken help from IMF. India has also got, bailout packages. We are going to discuss about it. In 1966, after the 1965 Indo-Pak War, the economic condition was not great, and for that reason, a help was extended, a loan was extended by the IMF to India. India was a new economy. It was only 15 years, after independence, which India has fought 3 wars till now, in 1948 with Pakistan and 1962 with China, and this was the 3rd war, 1965 war. Aggressor was not India. This is something we have to understand. Aggression came from Chinese side, aggression came from Pakistani side. India was not the aggressor here, but India has to respond. India has to save itself, fight for its dignity. And hence our economy suffered, and that is the reason why India needed a loan from IMF, and the IMF, since the bank is built to help countries in crisis, it extended the loan. Then in 1981, India got a very big help. A loan of $5.8 billion was extended. And I am saying help, do not mistake me. These are loans which will be paid back by India, and were paid back by India. India's record is very much true, impeccable. India has not faltered on its repayments. This is something you must understand. 1981, $5.8 billion were given to India, were extended to India, but India have utilized only $3.9 billion, and rest of the money was given back to IMF. Why? Because in 1981, the government has started taking the measure for economic development, and the economy has started to grow on itself. अब इतनी ग्रोथ खुद ही होने लगी तो बाहर का पैसा क्यों यूज किया जाए, वापस कर दिया. Then a major crisis came in 1991. We all know about this. New Prime Minister Shri Narasimha Rao, new Finance Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh, they made a team, they did the reforms, globalization, privatization, everything was done according to the rules and the regulations of the IMF. When they have to extend the loan, they imposed several restrictions which India had followed, and India had opened up its economy, deregularized its the government control on several sectors. At the same time, privatization was introduced. And after 1991, after the LPG reforms, liberalization, globalization and privatization reforms, India has not taken a single penny from IMF. Rather, India has become a lender. Through IMF, India lends to several countries now. That is the growth story of India compared to Pakistan, which is still taking loans. That is the price which you have to pay when you grow terrorism on your own soil. Several leaders of Pakistan, including the present defense minister Asif Khwaja, Bilawal Bhutto, Benazir Bhutto, Imran Khan, they all have accepted, General Parvez Musharraf, they all have accepted that Pakistan have a policy to fund terrorists and use them as proxies against India. And all this policy, Pakistan have done this dirty work for America. This is what Asif Khwaja have said. Done this dirty work for America and also for Britain for about 30 years. But the point is, why are they continuing it now? Although they claim that they do not do it now. But from where Jaish-e-Mohammed and Lashkar-e-Taiba and all these things are coming? Now there is also a Pakistani version of Taliban, Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, which is totally against the Pakistani establishment, and Pakistan is also suffering because of terrorism. Yes, it will suffer when you do not have the will to stop it. You are going to suffer because terrorism is against humanity. You are not doing any human acts. At the same time, one of the greatest provinces, biggest in area, Balochistan in Pakistan, it is up in arms all the rebels, the so-called rebels, the other party calls it nationalists, they want to free Balochistan from Pakistan. This has also become a movement in Pakistan now. So Pakistan is not in a very good state of economy, not in a very good state of political stability. And then fighting or waging a war against India is totally useless. So coming to these 11 demands which have been imposed by the IMF on Pakistan, if you see parliamentary approval for financial year 2026 budget, so Pakistan cannot even make its own budget. Its budget has to be aligned with the demands, conditions, rules, regulations of IMF. This is erosion of sovereignty of a country in one or the other way. Agriculture, tax has been imposed. Action plan, governance action plans. Since governance, IMF thinks that governance and efficient governance have a direct impact on economic development. That is the reason why IMF wants some kind of transparency in governance, and it wants Pakistan to publish a governance action plan. Indexation of cash transfer. This is direct benefit transfer which the Pakistani government gives to its people, but it is of no use because of 38% of the inflation rates. The purchasing power of the people of Pakistan has reduced considerably, and that is the reason why this indexation is given. This clause is given by the IMF that whatever amount of money you are going to pay to your people, you have to take in account the rate of inflation. That is what is indexation means here. Financial sector strategy post 2027, all kind of plans has to be given by Pakistan. $2.1 billion loan was about to be extended. Out of it, $1 billion has been given. Still $1.1 billion is left, and Pakistan has to fulfill all this before getting even an inch of, even a small amount of money. This is a very interesting point. 11th one, liberalize used car imports. Pakistan did not allow the second-hand car to be imported in Pakistan. Only a car which was used for 3 years can be imported. Now, IMF is saying to increase this limit to 5 years, that second-hand cars which are used for about 5 years can be imported in Pakistan. This is going to improve their imports. But again, all kind of plans which are made by IMF or whatever kind of help which is extended by China or by US through IMF, all these are going to fail if Pakistan does not change the basic fundamental ideology, the use of terrorism against India, because Pakistan also suffers from terrorism. That is something which they keep telling the whole world. But see, we in India are very happy. We do not want any interference of Pakistan in our economy. If Pakistan wants to live its own life in its own way, they can do it. But if Pakistan does any act, and it is very clear statement of the government of India that any act of terrorism will be considered as an act of war. That is the new normal which has been set by the political establishment in India, and it is very much needed. So thank you very much for joining me in this lecture. We are going to meet next time with something very important. Till that time, thank you very much and Jai Hind.